Database?
Yeah, which database?
No,
it is in the customer base. I wanted to.
We can go to system and the status. We can find what database it will find. Like a system status, right? The system.
No.
Okay.
Sonali.
Then it is showing HANA only.
Sonali. GRC has a ABAP piece, ABAP component also, right?
Yes.
See, your GRC, you work on two different places, no? One was on the ABAP side for doing all the SPRO configuration and the BC set activation and all that. But
correct.
From an end user standpoint, you think you only work on the NWBC side.
Yes.
Now, if you want to know what database it has been installed on, what Girish is saying, go and check it on system status. But if your question is on what databases can this be installed, if you see the architecture diagram, you can see at the bottom you have any database.
Yes.
Yeah. GRC component can be installed on any database. It could be HANA database also.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. My understanding is, whatever Basar is correct. So I thought you want to know the database, but any database like SQL, Oracle, Sybase, HANADB, any of the database you can install. But that depends upon the user. There are some, based on the user count, you need to extend your memory. So to avoid the performance issues.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But now the trend is everybody is migrating to SAP HANA.
Yes. Okay.
So because of the data retrieve, and even though it hits, it will retrieve the data as much as faster than the other databases. That flexibility is there.
Yeah, sure. I'll check.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, nothing from myself.
Okay. Today we will discuss about the GRC implementation approach. As any of the GRC project, this is a standard implementation approach which was suggested by SAP. So in this standard implementation approach...
Girish, hold on. Let me start the recording. Hold on. Can you start from the beginning? You start from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. You started, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Today we will discuss about the GRC implementation approach. This is a standard approach which was followed for each project and which is suggested by SAP. So in this stage, there is 3 stages. The complete implementation approach is 3 stages. One is a get clean, and second one is a stay clean, and third one is stay in control. We'll go in deeper in each stage, and we'll come to know what is the outcome of each stage and what is the next level of actions for the next stage. So first, I'll present in time because I want to. So for any project, existing project, like first we will consider fresh implementation. Fresh implementation, generally we will connect the RFC connections and we will complete the connector configurations and we will perform the risk analysis. As of now, you just go through the terminology, but we will go to each and every module along with the configurations. But for fresh implementation, the below line items, right? ARA, access and manage risk, is the ARA component. All the GRC components are maintained here. ARA, and a second is a BRM, and ARM, and EAM. So the second stage. But if you observe, ARA is the common for all the platforms. And a third approach is a periodic access review for audit. Okay, we will take first get clean stage. In this get clean stage, what is the outcome is any system without GRC, we will create the roles with conflicting action, combination of conflicting actions and conflicting permissions, which we don't know. But SAP has suggested there is a rule set, a concept called rule set. With help of that concept, we will perform the risk analysis. That is called first risk analysis. So in this get clean phase, we will schedule the complete sync job and we will perform the risk analysis in all the backend systems. Backend systems means ECC, SRM, GTS, whatever the backend modules. And GRC is the front-end system. ECC is the backend system. Similarly, any other system is a backend system, and GRC is the front-end system. We will, after the sync job, we will get the data, then we will perform the risk analysis. The implementation approach, the first stage is, after performing the risk analysis, we will identify, suppose we have 1,000 roles in the system. Example, for 1,000 roles, how many are conflicting transaction codes, or how many are having SOD risks, and how many roles are SOD free roles. Are you following me? Hello.
Yes.
Girish, please. Yeah, sorry, I raised my hand actually. So when you say the roles, right? So let's say we have 1,000 roles, right? So when you run the risk analysis, the analysis will be running on 1,000 roles, but is it independent of each role, the risk system will check?
Yes, that depends upon if you are performing single role level. Single roles are independent roles, right? There is a different combinations. The levels we will discuss later that point. But we will schedule the sync jobs on single role level if it is a derived role level, and we will schedule the business role level or composite role level based on the combination. The analysis would be each set of roles. Single role set is one set, derived role set is one set, like that I said, but my intention is 1,000 roles are single roles.
So by nature, single role has the profiles, but composite roles did not, right? So are you saying that you will be running the risk analysis on 3 levels, at single role level and composite role level and business role level?
Yeah, the risks. No, this is just only analysis. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Based on that, but as per why we were scheduled single role level, derived role level, and composite role level, actually there is a fundamental rule of SAP. All the single roles should be SOD free. There is no inherent risk. It exists in the single roles. Actually, that is about to my next point. So all the single roles should be SOD free. Okay. And similarly for derived roles as well. For composite roles, there is a combination definitely. The conflict should exist. But the first phase, the outcome is we will get the complete SOD results. The complete role should, how many roles has SOD, how many roles has SOD free. That is the outcome of the first phase. Are you clear on this as of now?
Yeah, I think Gaurav has a question. He raised a hand.
Yeah, because I'm not able to see.
Thanks. Only one question. For first phase of risk analysis, is it mandatory to run a SAP delivered rule set?
No, we will modify. We can customize and we can modify, because see, all the new everyone is new to this forum, GRC forum. But my intention was I just touch the terminology, like rule set. There is a rule set, SAP standard rule set. We will perform the risk analysis, but we will go deeper when we would require a customization and what level of customization we would require, everything. But as of now, based on the rule set, either a custom or standard, we will finalize the rule set, then we will perform the risk analysis.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Girish, just a follow-up question on that. So when we run the risk analysis, do you consider all the roles in EGR_define or only the custom roles?
No, we will consider everything.
Everything, okay.
See, like if we are following the naming convention, G star, not the SAP standard. If we are using SAP standard, then we will consider.
I see.
Input screen. There is an input screen. What type of roles and which system? Even we can schedule system-wise as well.
Got it.
Generally, we will schedule the system-wise.
Okay.
It's a business role irrespective of the system.
So if it's a business role, anyway, it's not there because business role was created by us, right? I don't know if you say business roles
are created by us.
Yeah.
But there is certain levels. There should be a mandatory actions. The next level of actions we have to take. But in this phase, we would require how many are SOD and how many are SOD free roles based on the rule set.
Right. I just had one more question, small question before that.
Yeah.
So when you now do the risk analysis, right, let us say one of the roles profile was not generated fully. So will the risk analysis takes care of that, or should just ignore that? You drop it?
No, it will. The role should be active.
So the role should be always the profile should be always active.
Profile should be always active. Yes.
So, but when you when you export the data into the GRC, right? So all the roles are getting extracted, or only the roles which has a profile active will be exported?
Okay. I will give you some more better idea. Okay. For your question. So this is my GRC system. Okay. This is my ECC system. Okay. I will use RFC connections to establish the connection between the two systems. Okay. But in the ECC, system, we won't export any of the role data for risk analysis.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay. The purpose of the sync job, there is only one logic for ARA and ARM. ARA is just a logical system, ECC system. The data, it will store in a particular space.
So for this step, role input is not needed. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Only sync jobs it will bring the data. This is ARA. Once we schedule the sync job, the data will stored in the image. This is ARA. But when you want to provision the user or create the user or assign the roles to this particular system, you must import the roles data into GRC system via role import. This is the physical data. So the data should exist in GRC system to assign the roles to user.
Yeah, okay, got it. It's clear now.
If we give some example, when we go to mirror, okay, we can see our image, but it does not exist in the real, but we can see our image. Similarly, whatever the ECC data, like a user role assignment, users creation, roles creation, everything, single composite role, everything, once we establish the RFC connection and we will create some connector configurations, some steps, it will bring the data into GRC system and it will store in some tables. But this complete ARA data is a logical data. Are you following me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
The same role, if you want to assign to user via PUP request, GRC request, the data should exist in the GRC system, that is physical data. If you understand this logic, you will understand GRC as easy as you can.
Yeah, it's very clear now. Yeah, thank you, Gireesh. Yeah. So I had a question on this. Yeah.
And since we are here in this picture, so we are implementing GRC. Okay. What we will do is our approach or complete GRC implementation purpose is, the purpose of this GRC implementation is, without touching backend system, we will perform all the operations through GRC. Generally, what operations we will perform? Creation of users, through PUP request we will perform. Role assignments, we will perform through GRC request. User lock, unlock, termination, and firefighter access, which we generally in ECC system we will add on role assignment. But everything we will perform through GRC, even audit reports, swim reports. Without touching the production system, all the operation, whatever the user administration operations, and we can say some extreme cases, role administration as well, since BRM is also one of the part. But it was not extensively used, but all the user administration and role administration activities, we will perform through GRC. Any questions on this? Or do you want more information? Or you want to repeat the same information?
Yeah, so when we say emergency access management, right, Gireesh,
Yeah.
so we still extract the logs into GRC, right, from ECC. I don't think you get from STAD, right? STAD.
Yes. Yeah.
So the scenarios, right, I expected to discuss, but sometimes, let's say we lost the data, for example, because STAD is, I think it refreshes every 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on the system, right, setting, right? So, please proceed. Yeah. So what if the load is failed, the extract is failed on that particular day and it cannot be recoverable? So what is the approach we follow on that? So, just
for lost instruction. There are different procedures, but I will let you know.
Girish,
But we'll discuss later.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too early to say. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Srikanth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Suma.
Okay, so questions for each and every module, right? EM, BRM, ERM, ERA, and ERM also, right? All of these kind of questions, errors, situations, we will discuss when we come to those modules, individual modules.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
We'll also discuss about what tables, what are the different precautions you need to take, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So let's continue with today's topic.
Yeah.
All of these questions, make a note, and when those topics, let's talk about at that time. Okay.
Right. But so the reason I brought up here, right? What data we are storing in GRC? That was the question actually at high level.
Right.
So
As users, roles, and user role assignment, all the data related to user administration. But the tables that how that depends upon what job you are scheduling. Now we are talking about only repositories. I don't want to go any deeper with the technical GRC terminology because the forum has a new people, so I don't want to confuse. If you understand the basic logic, okay, you will see the beauty results in upcoming sessions. That is the reason I am slowly touching GRC terminology, but I don't want to go deeper in the terminology, each terminology. Because if you understand this diagram, the complete GRC is a pin.
Yeah, got it, Girish. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Girish, sorry to barge you, Manpreet. Hey, why don't we, like we decided last time, you can write your question and ask him in the end. Otherwise, he will lose his thought process. He was explaining it very nicely. I think we need to give him some room and space for him to speak what he's saying, and we should ask the question in the end. Otherwise, we will not be able to proceed further. That's just my thought.
Okay, sure, we'll follow that. Okay, now comes to this get clean phase. Since it is an existing system, we will identify the complete role details, the user, but we mainly concentration on role details in this phase. And also, this phase only, the project resources will decide. Why? Because there is a GRC consultant which he particularly dedicated for the complete GRC configurations. But based on the role, dirty roles, okay, the terminology, someone will say dirty roles, someone will say SOD roles, someone say like risks exist in the roles. There is a different terminology, but in SAP suggested in a professional, what is a dirty roles? And based on the roles, the security consultant will hire this phase, and they will start working on the role modification. Suppose we have in this phase 100 roles total. Example, 50 are SOD, which are non-SOD. So in this 50 roles, next action would be how many roles, basically SOD, for every single role should SOD free. That is a core concept, but we'll combine the roles, and the composite role concept or business role concept. There are some roles still exist. And there are two possible actions. The outcome of this phase. One is a mitigation or remediation approach. In the remediation approach, out of 50 roles, how many roles we will remediate? Remediate is just nothing but modification. Like in the same role, two conflict transactions exist. So either one transaction we will remove from the role. Basically role update or role modification. We will remove the role and we can compensate this particular transaction code in some other role. But the same role cannot be assigned to one person. That is a remediation process. Mitigation process is, we know, since we are a startup company and we don't have a staffing, because we cannot assign for each role, we cannot create one person, one role. There are some job responsibilities. Based on that, we will assign the roles. But as SAP suggested, based on the rule set, there is a financial loss. If we assign everything to one person, there is a chance of misusage. So, based on the business agreement, we will come to know, okay, 30 roles should be go for remediation and 20 roles, like 50 roles will do remediation, but the combination overall 20 possible risks we will go for mitigation. Any questions now? Remediation and mitigation. But I won't go very deeper, but there is a decision making. Roles, how many roles should SOD, like remediation and mitigation, everything.
So how long will you hold the mitigation?
Till the project go live.
Okay.
That discussions is possible. That there are different approaches for the mitigation control, but we will create the mitigation control.
Got it.
Right? This is get clean. The phase itself, get clean. The outcome of this get clean is all the single roles mainly should SOD free with help of ARA. Once we complete this phase, okay, now this phase, the second phase is till this is kind of some development or starting point, first 1 week or 2 weeks. This is still go live. So we will not plan for go live, but before go live, stay clean. Stay clean process. There are some, we discussed, right? Roles should SOD free, and not only roles, there are some users, right? User level, we will perform the risk analysis. During the provisioning time, we will get a roles under. Once we will finalize the complete role matrix, then we will assign the combinations. And we will perform the risk analysis in development system, user level. Based on the user assignments, we will come to know these many risks at user level and role level. And also the critical transaction codes in this particular phase. So we'll try to remediate and mitigate. Then we cannot provision without mitigation or remediation to users. But whatever the critical transactions we will collect from the business, and we will not assigning those transactions in normal regular roles because there is a chance of financial loss in terms of month-end closing, you can say. So some client open requests, some table change access and table update. These kind of actions, we will create a separate concept called emergency access management. During this staging process, we will continue with the first outcome results and make SOD free roles and users as well as collect the critical transaction codes. And we will use the separate concept called emergency access management. And with this concept, we will type of access levels we will design. Level 1 is a normal kind of same module access. Level 2 is kind of integration between the two modules. And level 3 is a glass break, like kind of extensive access. SAP all profiles, SAP new profile, kind of some firefighter items. So these levels also we can design, and how many number of firefighter IDs required for each process. We will decide and we will design the complete strategy, how many levels of approvals. So if it is a level 1, level 2, normal operations, even level 3 is also same level of approval. So kind of a strategy and business justification. What level of business justification we will prepare. So we will prepare a SOP for that. So any questions on staking?
Girish, like who are the people will be involved in this phase 2? And like, is it only security person or some person for business?
No. Business, definitely business would be there. Each part. See, the users and role level matrix will, each business process owner will share to us. Suppose finance, the finance business process owner will give. Or it's not only finance, there is some spot for each company. They will identify the users and their role, what business role we need to provision, or what composite role we have to provision. And the internal auditor and external auditor and also the company auditor, we need to work with SOX compliance team for SOD and mitigation. There is a possibility some of the critical transaction codes we need to assign mitigation control. Some, but SAP has not suggested. SAP suggested only mitigation for high, medium, low level of risk, but some conditions we need to go for critical. But anyway, the mitigation strategy we need to discuss with along the business process owners and SOX compliance team. We need to involve everyone.
Okay. So is it something like testing? Can we say this is a testing process? Like?
No, testing can be done in each phase, all the modules.
Okay.
For ARA, we will develop some scripts. Like SOD, user level of SOD, user level simulation, role level SOD, role level simulation. We will develop some scripts. We'll take any role, IT roles or business roles. We'll take role and whether it is trigger the risk.
Okay. Got it.
And similarly for provisioning, user provisioning, like first level of approval, and the user getting the notification or not. Second level of approval, getting the notification. If we forward the request to some other person and some SOD free role, so level of approvals, SOD role, level of approvals, whether it is meeting the testing, will perform the testing extensively for each scenario and approval delegation. If we delegate the approval, whether the request is going to the new approver working box arena. There are various scenarios, but we'll discuss a testing some part.
Yeah.
So, Girish, I have a question. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, you're saying that there is a level 1, level 2, level 3, right? So, when you run the risk analysis, do you have some flag? It says it comes under level 1.
Firefighter IDs will not. This is the firefighter concept. Now, firefighters, there is a control, but it is not. That control might be every 1 year or every 6 months. Whether is there any role assignments have changed for each level firefighter IDs? Who has modified? Who has assigned profiles or anything? That controls will exist for every 3 months or 6 months or annually. But generally, for firefighter IDs, we cannot run the risk analysis.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying was like, you can define the firefighter roles, user IDs, based on the level of effort. Right? That's what you're saying. L1, L2, L3. The criticality. Yeah, for example, I need to change the table. I will put in L3, something like that. Right?
Yes.
Open the client, L3, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like, see, the accomplishments, whatever the possible, like with the normal usage in the quality and production, definitely they would require the firefighter concept, because GRC was like established with additional these two concepts only. One is a powerful risk analysis management to identify the risks at usage level, and whatever the critical functionalities are using in the SAP system, that can be immediately reviewed by the appropriate owners through firefighter concept. The outcome of firefighter concept is immediate review. Within 2 days or 3 days, there is a SLA. The approver must review and approve that particular action. And he will verify whether, okay, I need access for this particular transaction code, but I will use some different transaction code. Is there any misusage in that particular firefighter session?
So even check like for example, right? Let us say I requested for firefighter for PFCG. So what if I use AC01? So
the log it will display.
Oh, it's on a manual. There is no check, right? There is no check.
The approver can see the log before approval, what actions he mentioned and what actions he was executed in the report.
Right. What I'm saying, the question was, so is there any way that system can identify like, hey, this guy, no, right? It's manual.
We have to insert some custom program that cannot.
Okay. So the custom program also you can do it only T code level, not at auth object level, right?
No.
Is that right?
Since we will go for custom, then definitely we will go as much as deeper. Kind of critical objects or any authorizations, any transaction codes, anything.
So basically, GRC doesn't cover that automated process.
No.
It does not compare the text what you had input with the output. So okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that should manually review by firefighter control.
Yeah, some other software does that. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now get in and stay in. So now this phase is the before go live. We have a SODP roles, we have SODP users, but it was assigned, if any, in case of SOD, we have the mitigation concept. And whatever the critical access, we are ready with the firefighter concept. But the third stage, stay in control. Once we move to third stage, this is after go live. So how are we gonna control? Stay in control. That's how are we gonna control the system with the whatever we have followed the process user and roles SOD free. How are we gonna control? In this phase, we have two concepts. One is a user access review and SOD review. So generally, SOD review is cannot go much, but user access review would help with this third phase. So in the stay in control, that depends upon organization. Every 3 months or 6 months, they will trigger the UR review. Why? Because some of the persons in the company, they left the organization, or they got promoted, or they got transferred or deputed from one organization to other organization within the same company. So there is a possibility user cannot submit a request for role removal. The manager who should identify or the respective spot to the particular company should submit the request for removal with the existing access and submit the new request for the new company, new job responsibilities. But most of the companies, that strategy will not follow, and end users will submit the request. With this problem, with this concept, so user has, even though he doesn't have any job responsibility, but he has the existing assignments, which may possible risk for the business. So to avoid these situations, we will continuously monitor the user with help of UR. It will trigger to user manager, and user manager suggested whether he is terminated and there is a job responsibility change, or there are various reasons he will select, and he will keep the role or he will suggest for the removal. So that any new roles or any role management we did for the normal roles, we will perform the risk analysis, and that will control with help of rule set. And any user management, new users or anything, whatever the existing role assignments, we can control with audit reviews. In this three stages, we will control the complete system with help backend systems with help of GRC. The same strategy would follow any of the project. Any questions? Because this is continuous monitoring.
Sorry. So when we were talking about periodic access review, right? So we are extracting the data again, say from the connector, right? The ECC, right? For example. So is there any mechanisms that GRC has, like, you know, hey, this user is already terminated, or something like that? The system.
So we have a HR trigger. We have a HR triggers. We can develop HR triggers. If it is a success factor, we can use success factor triggers. If the that depends upon job responsibility for any of the particular company, there are some super users or spots would be there. So they know the person is retired or terminated, then immediately they will submit the request. Instead of, if it is a HR process, we are integrated the system, then automatically they change the LDAP or Active Directory, automatically that triggers and terminate the user. Our manual process, we can do, that depends.
Yeah, right.
The company, how.
So the question was, so for example, right, one user is active in connector ECC, for example, right? But in LDAP, the user was deactivated. So when you run this periodic access review, does system automatically compare between the LDAP and GRC? Yes or no?
See, for the data source, it is basically it will based on the all these users, okay, managers are users, mostly that will check the GRC system. Approvers. You are talking about the users, right? It will check the data source. It will check the data source.
Yeah. So the question was like again. So if the ID is deactivated already in LDAP, when you run the UR, the system consider that LDAP also as an input, saying that hey,
it won't.
No,
it won't consider.
It won't
consider.
Okay. It's static.
For this reason, there are prerequisites we will perform whenever we are going to implement whenever we are going to start the UR process. There are some manual checks.
Okay.
See, there are some managers, their accounts in the GRC system inactive. So we will perform some prerequisites. All the roles should, there are some roles should, by mistakenly they put it into dev status. Since we are selecting only PRD status for role active, or there are some issues like you said, right? Profile generation was not there. So we will check all the role validation and manager validation and user validation before going to run the UR. There are some strategies, but
I get it.
Generally companies, what they will do, they will directly trigger, but they know some users or some roles were not triggered. Since they are repeatedly seeing every 6 months or 3 months, right? They can identify, okay, this role was not, even though I'm a role manager, or this particular user, it was not triggered. Can you verify? Definitely.
So basically, when you do the user access review, when you schedule a job, so you give all these filters and conditions like, okay, do not consider the regulated users, do not consider the unlocked users, something like that.
That is the reason it will. Yeah, that is the reason it won't trigger. We will always consider active.
Got it. Okay. So basically, it's not just take the dump like that. Just no, right?
No. For manual, we will take the dump, but it won't agree auditors because they want proof, right? We have triggered the job, and this is the role. This is the completed data extraction. We have to share all the files to auditors, internal as well as external, and they will pick some samples for particular users. Whether all the role assignments in the tables, they will compare. But we will do validation only for few users. But they will pick random samples for users and they will compare the roles, what particular date the trigger was happened. Until that time, how many roles were assigned, whether all the roles were triggered or not. That they will do, even internal and external. And our local auditor also will do comparison. And if they find any discrepancy, then again we need to run. To avoid these discrepancies only, we will perform the prerequisites.
So, can you define what is prerequisite here, Girish?
We'll discuss on the audit. Like managers, roles, users, everything.
Okay, that's fine. No, thank you.
So in this implementation complete approach, Okay. One more point, like we discussed, right? There are a security security team would require to modify the roles. So before implementation, he will work on the roles, and that makes SOD free in this phase, this state-in phase. The security consultant will complete the role management process, and they will the complete roles will be ready for go live. So, if any questions are you okay with this?
No question from me.
Okay. Mantriji, can you hold the recording?
Yes, yes.